guys, welcome back. So here's my super mortifying, embarrassing story that happened at VidCon / apology to Rumble. So while at VidCon, I had an invite to go to this networking luncheon put on by Rumble. Rumble's a platform like YouTube where you can upload your videos and they monetize them and they do all this stuff for you to grow your brand or whatever. So I was really excited to go. I had a couple videos up there and I wanted to learn more. And I had just met this, there was a group of people meeting and I was like, hey guys, I'm heading over to this Rumble lunch. It's a free lunch to learn more about Rumble, this other platform that's not YouTube. Does anyone want to come? And this one guy that I didn't really know, he had a giant mohawk and was covered in chains. His name was Toad. He was like, yeah, I'll come. I'd like to learn more. And I totally would never judge anyone by their appearance. You cannot judge a book by its cover, right? Even if his name is Toad, there's no judgment here. Actually, I met another guy with an even bigger mohawk right here. He is an amazing YouTuber, and he was the greatest guy. He would save bugs as we walked around. He was just the nicest, sweetest, greatest guy. So you cannot judge someone. Just because someone has a mohawk does not mean you can't bring them to a fancy luncheon, right? So anyways, that's not where the story went wrong. The story went wrong when we left VidCon to go in the parking lot, to go to the Marriott, to go to this Rumble event, and Toad met up with a group of guys that he knew who were homeless. And the one guy had, I don't know, he was old-timey homeless. He had a giant, very, very dirty worn top hat and aviator goggles and a trench coat, even though it was 1,000 degrees out. And I thought maybe he's cosplay 1800s homeless guy, which could have been okay, could have been cool, but he wasn't, you guys. He wasn't cosplay. He smelled horrible. He was covered in 6 inches of dirt, and he was dragging this giant suitcase with a million tiny grocery bags tied to it. Most of those grocery bags filled with garbage. And did I mention the smell? Did I mention the smell? And he let us know that he was been sleeping in the parking lot of the Marriott. So he wanted to come for the free lunch with his guys, with his other friends, also homeless, and Toad, right? And so I'm just at this point, I hear Joe's voice in my head Cass, this is a bad idea to show up with the homeless guys. And I'm just Joe, get out of here. Just because they're homeless does not mean that they're not cool guys. And what am I gonna say now? No, you can't come? I'm in too deep at this point. I'm in too deep and I'm way too nice to say anything. But I kind of feel this inkling that this might be a bad idea, but we carry on. And we go into the Marriott and there's these double doors to this conference room for Rumble, and I open up the doors and I walk in. It's my, I don't know, pretty woman moment. And I walk through the door with my entourage of homeless guys and Toad with the mohawk, and everyone goes silent. And it's not this networking thing that I thought where everyone was just walking around talking. No, my friends. It is a bunch of business people at tables, probably only 20 business people, if that, at tables watching a presentation on a huge screen given by the CEO of Rumble. And everyone goes quiet and everyone stares, and the CEO says to me, are you guys in the right place? I think you might be in the wrong place. And I'm I should have just turned and left, but I'm hi, is this Rumble? I'm Cass from ClutterBug. And then his eyes get big because he knows that I'm supposed to be here. And obviously I totally misinterpreted, and it is not, something where you just come and go. It's a sit down thing. I probably should have been there at 11:30. At this point it's 1, I'm halfway through, I'm interrupting, I'm bringing a bunch of homeless dudes, one of which basically looks like the professor from, the professor of the dark arts from Harry Potter, except super smelly with a giant top hat. And that was happening right now. And the guy with the chains and the mohawk and the other homeless guys. So we're in, and they rush to the back and they just start eating the food. And I sit down, dying inside, just thinking this is gonna be okay, but there's only 20 people and they're all staring. And the guy's trying to go on with his presentation, but you can feel the awkwardness. You could cut it with a knife. And then the guy with the top hat and the goggles starts asking questions, interrupting, asking questions that basically have nothing to do, he just doesn't even know what he's talking about. It's just crazy stuff. And then Toad, who's sitting beside me, starts picking a fight with this guy in a suit. for some reason, and I want to tell him to be quiet, but I don't really even know him. And so I'm just sinking in my chair, hoping like, oh my God. And then the guy with the suit's like, why don't you guys just get out of here? And then the CEO made a joke about, it's a good thing we're called Rumble, because basically I brought homeless people who are now starting a fight in this important luncheon thing. You gotta laugh, right? I mean, you either laugh or you cry. And so, pretty sure I'm blacklisted from Rumble. I mean, legit. That was just horribly embarrassing and awful. I feel bad for them because they put on this like really nice, you know, event, and it was like probably cost them a lot of money, and it was like all these important people there, and they were trying to impress them, and I showed up with a bunch of homeless people who totally destroyed the party. Okay, so then I just like, I'm leaving now because I've done enough damage for the day. I mean, tomorrow's a new day. Let's see what I can totally ruin tomorrow. So I'm leaving, and they're like, oh, is this free swag? And they're like scooping all the free t-shirts off the table into their millions of little tiny bags that they carry around. And I died inside. So I apologize, Rumble, and I don't think I can make it up to you in any way, but it's a pretty great platform, you guys. So if you're a video creator, you should check it out. And that's about all I could do, and apologize 1,000 times, but I had to share this story with you because craziness, right? So anyways, see you next time.